I was in the same spot, unable to move, queen so far from who I thought I was. No image of an escape, fell to my knees, asked the creator, please set me free. I had dreams, trapped, heart cluttered by pain, self-hate, bullet deep. I managed to see the light. The more I prayed, the more I... Hi, my name is Moseley, the poet. I am the host and creator of Queen Motivations, Sip and Discuss. And today I have with me some beautiful co-hosts. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. Usually what we do is we interview women one-on-one and they share their motivational stories on how they started their businesses, things that they've overcome. But I thought, how about we give it a little spin where I pick a panel of women that I respect and love. Each and every one of these women have wowed me in some way. That's why they are in my home. So we're not in a studio, we didn't rent anything out. I invited them into my home because I respect and I love them. And I felt as though that their opinion could help and motivate other young women who might be dating. We have to share our stories. As black women, we can't be afraid to share with each other what we've gone through, what we've overcome. I think that's empowering and that's what's going to push us forward as a community, as a culture. So that's all Queen Motivation is about. We're also going to put a spin on it where we have the King Edition. So tune in next week when I can't announce who the host is. He knows who he is. But he's going to come in and talk about his business and he's going to get a chance to watch everything y'all said along with King Khalidah. And they're going to give their opinion on what we said. So be on the lookout for that. That's coming too. So I'm going to start right here.
Sherrelle,
Aliya Austin,
Danisha Reed,
Khalidah Hunter,
Vita Young.
Alright, and I just want to thank each lady for coming. We have a very diverse group of women because some women, I'm not going to put nobody's business out there. If they feel they want to share that, then they are more than welcome to share it. We have some women that are single. We have some women who are in new relationships. We have, and that's pretty much it, single, not single. So I wanted to I didn't want everybody just to be single because even if you're not single, you were single at some point that got you in this relationship. So maybe you could give us some hints. Like me. And how did I come up with this topic? Do black women know how to date? I am newly single. I ended a 5-year relationship in September of 2018. And I moved back to Jersey. And I wasn't ready to date, but it kind of just happened. By March, I was dating. And I kind of felt myself going back in the same cycle that I had already been in. I go on a date, and next thing you know, I'm in a 5-year relationship. I swear on my life, that is all of my relationships. I go on one date, I focus in on that one person, and I'm in that relationship. And I'm like, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. And what I did, why I added the black on it was because I'm an Uber driver part-time as well. So I started listening to the other races, our other sisters of other colors, and they seem to be more free. They telling me they dating 8 and 10 guys at the same time, and how their friend was dating 7, now she married, and I'm like, none of my black friends tell me that. They dating one guy, they put all their eggs in one basket, and so I'm like, do black women know how to date? What do y'all think?
It's good. It's hard. I don't necessarily think that we don't know how to date. It's just, I don't know, I can't put it into words, but the time, like I said, this day and age, where we are with social media and things like that, I think everyone expects instant gratification. Everyone is already looking at, oh yes, I'm gonna be married, I'm gonna do this. It's like instead of taking your time, we kind of go real quick.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Now I've been single for over a decade, so it's not like and I've never been married close to it or anything like that. But I date in this world, and I The guys too. I mean, not trying to put no blame on the men, fellas. I'm not attacking you. I'm not coming at you. But they have certain expectations as well. It's like because we're just in this world, it's kind of fake. If anybody understands what I'm saying, I'm not old. I'm 37 years old, but I was saying to the ladies, we grew up in a different time. Yeah. And it just feels different now, and it doesn't feel authentic. It feels real artificial for me. So I think everybody's kind of being phony with it in a sense, and not it's just not knowing and just kind of just going with what it is. I don't want to say we don't know how to date.
Right.
We're just kind of we don't know what was real and what's fake. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. I mean, that's just one of my opinions, but I'll let somebody else talk. I can get long-winded, so we can move on.
I was just gonna say, like, piggybacking off that is when. When you pose that question, do we know how? But then, do we know when? Because our expectations are different in seasons. So I think evaluating when we're ready to date and what that even looks like. Because if we're in our 30s or if we're in our late 20s, we come with a lot of baggage, friendships, brokenness, a lot of different things. Yes. And it's important to reevaluate, really put a lot of focus on ourselves to kind of see who we are and what we're ready for. And what's the purpose of dating anyway? Like, why are we dating?
We have two authors, and we have, give your title, please, because she is someone that we could go see and actually get counseling.
Yeah. So, I am an author of 2 books, Love Letters from Ishra, 2016, and You Are Worth It, 2018. And You Are Worth It probably fits with this discussion because it's a 30-day, preparational tool for men and women who desire to be married, who desire to be in a long-term relationship. And it's 30 days, quick, simple, easy read, available on Amazon, and you could just reevaluate. Because sometimes we think we're waiting, but really it's just preparation. Each day is preparation for something that you're looking for, something that you expect. So I think it's good to evaluate, what am I looking for, why am I dating? We as humans, we thrive off connections, even if it's connection from person to person or connections with things. Some people are hermits and homebodies. They're connected to their home. You go in their home and it's beautiful and they just like to sit and enjoy the home. Or some people thrive off of just socialization. So we do enjoy connections, but why are we dating? Is a good question.
That's why I realized that I'm not ready to date because my purpose is not to get married. My purpose is not to have children. My purpose is to build my career. So to act like I really want to be, I did that. I did that already. I focused on a relationship for 5 years, and it was not to say anything bad about it, but it helped me realize that this is not what I want. Another thing I wanted to touch on was when I interviewed you, me and you had a conversation and you brought up things like that, things that you need to ask yourself, like you're saying now, and prepare yourself. Because you need to know, is that person healthy? How is that person's credit? That's the biggest.
Were they raised on survival or were they raised on love?
Right.
Because that makes a different type of person.
I feel like that was one of the biggest lessons that I recently just learned, is that the differences between me and my ex was a lot based on how we were raised. Right. And I don't want to get into detail with that, but that was just it just came to me like certain things you can't expect him to understand, certain things he won't understand. It's just because y'all seen different things in life. Y'all had 2 different parents, so you can't expect for him to understand where you're coming from. And I think it's hard for us to ask those questions. I get uncomfortable asking those questions. How do you ask somebody, what's your credit score? I don't need you coming in and tearing mine apart. Are you good with managing your money? Are those things that you just wait and?
I think that comes back to being comfortable with yourself and being, sure of who you are and what you want. Because then you're able to ask those questions, and then you're okay with what the answer is. Because if they turn around and tell you that credit's a 400, then you're okay to say, I don't know if I want to move forward from here. Right. Whereas if you're in a position where you don't feel the best about yourself, or you want to people please, you don't want to ask those questions because you don't want to know that stuff up front. You want to still, give yourself a reason to like that person and be in that space with that person. So I guess you don't want to ask because you're not comfortable with yourself, and also because you're almost lying to yourself to a certain extent because you want to like that person. You want to believe in the potential of that person.
I realized, like, I came out with the whole self-love campaign because I realized that I was battling with self-love. And lately, I've been turning down so many guys, but not on a cockiness. It's just on, you do not meet. If I was looking, you're not it. And I'm sorry, but the old Michelle, I would have compromised. I would have said, you know, he's nice. You know, he showed me a little bit of attention. Let me go out of my way to take his number. Now I'm like, no, I don't take numbers. Like, I don't want your number. For me, I can't speak for all black women, but I know for me, I did not know how to date. I believe one of the reasons I didn't know how to date because I was not allowed to date growing up. Exactly. There was no, the boy comes to your house. No. My sisters are in the background laughing. I don't know what their experience, there's like a big age gap between us. So like, I don't know what their experience was with dating, but I was not allowed, I wasn't even allowed to listen to secular music. Wow. So when I was 15, I wasn't allowed to go outside of my gate. So that gives you kind of like where I'm coming from. So there was no boy coming to my house, knocking on my door, saying I'm scared to take my child, meet the dad. There'd be rules and regulations. This is how he's supposed to treat you. He's supposed to come to the door because there was no dating. So when I turned 18, dating was for me, a guy I was walking down the street, a guy's friend asked me for my number because his friend liked me. We started talking, he got locked up. Next thing you know, I was in a relationship, he came home. I was in a relationship for 5 years. That was my dating experience. And it was going to his house and chilling. So that's what it set me up for. And I think a lot of females don't realize that that is not dating. That is not getting to know what's out there. There's so much more out there. I always say, like, if I could talk to the younger girls, I would say there's more to just hooking up with this one guy and putting all your eggs in one basket and focusing on him. I think about those first 5 years of my life when I turned 18. After I turned 18, I could have got a college degree as much as energy I put into that relationship trying to keep that man. Does that make sense? Just not teaching our daughters.
It's based on your learned experience. And I feel the same way. I don't know how to date. I would say black women don't know how to date, but that is based on my experience where I was allowed to date, but I didn't come from a two-parent home. So I didn't see the way a father shows affection towards a mother. And if anything, what I've heard about was a history of domestic violence. So that's not the positive example to look towards. Whatever examples I did have were from like the Disney princesses movies, which I love. Cinderella. But like I had to learn that was so not realistic. So growing up, I'm thinking I'm going to meet my Prince Charming at the age of 17, 18, and we're going to get married right away based on watching the movies, not what I had in my family. And I had to learn that wasn't, realistic. Not to mention having 3 big brothers, loved them to death, but they didn't show me how a man is supposed to treat a woman. If anything, there was, bullying, natural sibling relationships. I was being teased. So that, that touches on your self-esteem, and that doesn't give you the positive example of how a man is supposed to treat a woman. So not having that to visualize in your reality, only going off based on what's on the movies or in some Disney princess show. So how do you learn how to date when you don't have that in your upbringing? You grow up with certain values and a certain understanding, but if you don't witness it, you don't have that learned aspect of it, what you've seen and what you're used to.
It's like being the product of your own environment.
Product of your environment. So when you get into those situations, you don't know what to do. You go based off what you saw in the movies, you go based off the instant gratification, you go based off wanting to please somebody, wanting that attention. But none of that is what it should really be rooted in. Dating anybody. There's a purpose to it, and I don't know if we understand that purpose. When we're starting to do it.
I also feel like it's our culture to, we don't, for our other sisters of like our Caucasian women, I feel like in their environment, they are not considered a slut or a whore if they're dating 5 guys. Because I always say, just because you're dating 5 guys doesn't mean you're sleeping with 5 guys. But in our community, if they see you out with Mike, and then Tony took you out last week, oh, she's a hoe. And you ain't had sex with Tony or Mike.
That is so true.
I don't know if do they just not care? Because I wonder if they exist. They might have a label, they just might not care.
And a black guy I sat down with, and if my chef, he sees this, he knows who he is. When me and him first met through a mutual friend, we're not dating or anything like that, but we would talk or whatever. And as friends, and because I don't want to blow his spot up, like make it seem like no, but we were talking about dating, and I said the same thing to him, and he said the problem with black girls is we care too much. He said white girls don't care. They don't care. They're more free with it.
But
like,
we're judged.
We're judged. That's what it is.
Yeah.
We're being judged by other black women, and we're being judged by everybody on the outside.
So it's just we can't help it. It's not even like it's just how we are. It's just what it is. Like we always got to be defense. We always got to be on ourselves. We always got to worry about it because we're taking care of everything. Like it's the spotlight's on us, even though we're the most disrespected.
Yes.
But don't be too much anything. Because then you're aggressive. And then you're not. You're an angry black woman. And you have a stigma behind you, and you're just mad, or you're broken, or you're upset. Like you can't have an opinion about it either. Because as soon as you speak up on it, then it's like, oh, she's bitter. Somebody broke her heart. No, this is just what I want for myself.
That's what I want for myself.
It has nothing to do with anybody else. I'm not holding anything against anybody. I mean, it's lessons learned. So at the end of the day, like, I learned my lesson. I'm not mad at anybody in particular. I just want better next time.
Is there a way to break that?
Well, I also feel like, and this is just my personal experience, but we as black women also keep it real. Whereas I feel like other women are in denial about certain things. So certain women can do certain things and be in complete denial about what they did. Whereas, like, I know what I did and I'm not comfortable with that, and I'm not going to go through life as if that didn't happen. I have to like heal from that. So like just based on my experience, like I've been friends with women from different races, and just hearing about certain experiences that they had, and their mindset around that experience is not the same mindset I would have around that experience. So it's not necessarily a bad thing that we do care, and it is based on our experiences, but we hold ourselves to a certain standard that I'm not ashamed of. Whereas I feel like other women, I can't speak for all other women just based on my relationships with women of other races. They don't keep it as real about the situation, and they do things not based on a place of being grounded and me knowing who I am. You know, like that. I feel like things are done based on wanting to please people, what my friends are doing, and that's just like in my experience with people I know. So I don't think it's a bad thing to be that way or a bad thing to care. Maybe we could care a little less, be a little bit more comfortable in how we date and who we sleep with and how many or whatever, and if they said we did and we didn't, whatever. But, you know, I don't think, I like the standard that black women hold themselves to.
Even when our mamas is on drugs and whatever the worst situations, we still end up with some type of like foundation and morals. I know our generation, like I believe like we're all in our late 20s and early 30s and stuff. So like I feel like our generation, we, no matter what our situation was, we still ended up with some type of standard, some type of morals, and then sometimes now it's another thing I heard a white lady had told my one of the girls who does my hair. Y'all date for love. Wow. We date for security.
To date us.
For security.
But if we do that, then we're called gold diggers.
So that involves, it falls back on us being judged again.
Yes.
It sure does. So it's like our whole life experience as black women is just being
constantly under a
judged.
Yes.
From
the appearance to everything.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that's weird. It is like.
You said you didn't know that about the white.
They do.
My mom used to.
I had this conversation with someone about that, with a black man about that, because he's like, oh, you know, those people with the K, y'all know what I'm talking about. Oh, I don't know why black women are so angry at them and they hate on them. I said, so it bothers me when you say white women are like, oh, you guys hate. No, we don't hate on them. We don't really care about them. Just give us our credit. Stop doing that. You can date whoever you want to date. I don't care who you date, but don't date white women or other women and then fall back on the clause that because black women,
Right.
no,
Exactly.
you already negated your whole,
Yeah.
everything you said before that, you just
Yeah.
negated it. As soon as you said, but black women,
Right, yeah.
then we don't care who you date.
How long should you wait to start dating after a breakup? A, 1 year. B, get right back in there. C, when you feel comfortable. D, between 3 to 4 months if the relationship was a year or longer. Less time when the relationship was shorter.
See,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say C.
Everybody says C. Okay, so,
They're
yeah.
gonna say D.
Right.
I mean, see what it sounds good when you're more comfortable, but sometimes you're not a good judge of that. So, Hello Issues by Aliya Gold. She's a relationship counselor or whatever. She says that you should wait between 3 to 4 months if it's been a year or longer, and give yourself a little bit less time if it was less than a year.
Gotcha.
So nobody got that.
But I think it is an individual choice.
Yeah.
There's no one size fits all.
Okay. So this question is so funny to me because I won't put this person on the spot, but they recently had a date where they had the person ask them afterwards would they like to go half on the date. A first date at that. Yes. So how much should the first date cost? Nothing, $0. Should you go Dutch? Between $80 and $120, or the price of 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. Anybody
I'll
else?
go with D, I guess. I'm really good.
I go with a free date.
I'll say a freebie as well.
Okay, you all are wrong.
We're all wrong. $120?
What is it? Dutch?
So no, it says that your first date should be between $80 and $102. Yes.
Okay.
Now the source, y'all might get mad at me about who the source is. The source is Match.com.
Come on.
They say that is how
Who's
much.
paying?
Well, they didn't.
It is specified.
They didn't.
It goes for free Dutch or it's just gonna cost this much. Like I
Well,
don't know.
I think I had one of those questions.
Alright.
in
I mean,
here.
$800
That
at
is
least
so
paying.
funny.
Then that would have been it.
Okay, so fun fact. Match.com says that 85% of women don't even want an expensive date. And I will share.
agree with
Yeah,
that.
I'll agree with that.
That's me all day.
My first with I still call him like my best friend. He's probably mad at me because I haven't talked to him in a long time. Our first, and that was probably the best relationship I've ever had. Like we really didn't have any arguments or anything like that. The reason we broke up was out of our control. Our first date was actually on the boardwalk, and he brought ice cream.
Yeah.
That date probably cost him $5.
Yeah.
It was the best date I ever had.
Yeah.
Like we talked,
Yeah.
we laughed, and I kind of feel recently, when I've been saying yes to these dates, I've recently been feeling uncomfortable only because it's like you taking me to these restaurants and the bill's coming up to $100, and I don't even know if I'm gonna want to talk to you. And you gonna be kind of a little irritated because you gonna feel like I'm not giving you a chance. But you know, I always tell guys, I tell my brothers this all the time, like, and I tell my cousins, like, a woman knows within the
Seconds of looking at you.
yes, whether she's going
Before
to,
that first date,
She wants to figure that out.
and you messed that up.
Right,
So a
yeah.
lot of times we on that date, we already thinking of it. Yeah, you don't want to. And then he done said something, and you
Yeah.
like, dang, oh, why you had to put your foot in your mouth?
Exactly.
And that's just how I feel about the whole going out on the first date. I would rather the first date be really, really simple.
Yeah.
I really would. I would like a walk in the park, even a free museum.
Yeah.
Going to the museum, just something real simple so we can just really genuinely get to know each other. And nobody feels pressure, nobody feels like they gave too much or
Yeah.
didn't give enough.
Yeah.
Okay, so when should someone you're dating meet your kids?
Mm.
Does everybody have kids here?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So the after the first date is A. B is when they ask. C is when you've talked about marriage. D is after 6 months of dating.
A.
C. A is after the first date.
D.
I'm gonna say D.
Yeah,
After
I'm saying
6
D.
months, after we don't have to talk about marriage. I don't expect to talk about marriage in 6 months because you can know somebody for a year, 2 years, and still not know them.
Right.
Like, I feel like it's a level of how comfortable you are with the person, and if you see that this is going to go further than that. Because I don't think you should be discussing marriage if they've never met your kids or vice versa, because the kids can make a break.
And that's why I say after the first
situation.
date, right? You know, why wait 6 months if after that first date it might not be it? Got that from Steve Harvey's book. I did.
Ooh, taking dating advice from Steve Harvey.
He makes some really good points. But I think that, you know, like if the kid's gonna break the situation, you should meet them. They should meet the kid right there.
If we're talking about black women dating, if you're dating multiple people at a time, are you gonna, after the first date, with every single person you want to introduce them to your
I guess so when you
relationship?
see real potential.
But that's what I'm saying, that's why I say 6 months, because after that 6 months, if you're dating multiple people after 6 months, then you already done probably weeded out who's gonna stick and who's not gonna stick.
Yes, exactly.
And that gives you an opportunity to decide whether or not, you know, your kids are a good fit with them. Or vice versa. Maybe they don't like kids. Or maybe your kids don't like them. Even though that can come from a whole nother different place, the kids not liking them. But I feel like my kids are a good judge of character. And they're not, they wouldn't base it on, that's not my dad type of situation. It would be more like, he's kind of off.
What would be a first good date? A dinner at your place, go swimming, a family barbecue.
Taking a walk.
Okay, so y'all got
And
that.
I feel like that sets the tone for how the relationship is going to go. Because now you feel like you don't have to spend no money. You feel like, oh, we can just stay at the house, she can make some food, or vice versa. You just come over my house, you can order some takeout. No, take me out. I want to go outside. I want to get dressed. I want to get dressed. I want to look cute. I want to sit across the table and look at you.
Yeah. Because if that's
Not
the
side by
first date,
side on the couch.
if that's the first date, you will be next flicking and chilling it for the rest of the and I think a family barbecue is too much.
Especially not with my family.
Yeah, that's too fast.
Yeah.
It'll be over before it even starts.
Yes, it's my family too. My family will be cracking jokes.
That's
Like,
not to come around my family.
and go swimming. We is not getting our hair wet on the first date. I don't even care if my bundles is the high class bundles that you can do anything to. I'm not getting in the water. Okay. Should a woman be prepared to pay for herself on the first date?
Of course.
You gotta say right.
And that is correct. Yes. She should be prepared. Yes, you should always be prepared. And you can suggest, I have suggested to pick up the tip. I always say, are you
Exactly.
I mean,
I'll think reach on my wallet.
and that's another thing that That's another thing that I read in the article. It said you can always go to reach for your pocketbook at that point.
If you don't stop me,
Yes, at that point, I'm like,
you'll see me reaching.
At that point, he should say, "What are you doing? I got this." But I either reach for my purse or I say, "Do you want me to get the tip?" Because I'm all about getting the tip.
Yeah.
I will
I'll
tip.
take care of the tip.
And y'all are okay with that? The one time I didn't take care of the tip, I was very disappointed.
Yeah.
It might have been stuff after the fact, but some dudes just don't deserve the tip.
Okay.
I don't know though.
Listen, I've been writing posts all week about some dudes what they didn't deserve. All my exes except two didn't even deserve to be boyfriends. They deserve to be dudes that I robbed. I'm sorry. If anybody knows about my past life, on a movie. That's kind of based on some of what I've been through. So that's why I say some boyfriends shouldn't have even been boyfriends. They should have got straight
They didn't
ride.
prepare for that whole meal.
Is it ever okay? I'll give you the scenario. I live, not me, this person lives in a building with someone and they always speak to the person and the person is friendly and they can't tell if it's a flirt. They never see the person come with any females or anything like this. This person is a female and she likes a guy. She is wondering, should she approach him and ask him out on the first date?
Yeah. I mean, you can shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, what are you gonna say? No. If I like somebody, I have no problem with approaching a guy and saying that. Listen, you want to go out?
Yeah.
So let's go to dinner or something.
When you ask, are you now paying for that dinner?
No.
See, no, because I had a guy.
I mean, I might. It depends. If I ask to go on a date with you, if I say, come on, let's go on a date, but then you start making suggestions on where we should go, then you're obviously paying. Now, if I say let's go on a date and I'm like, I have a date planned out for
We
us,
could be taking that walk.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
I might have to snacks in my trunk.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just depends. If I say I'm gonna take you on a date, I have no problem paying for the date.
Right.
If I say let's go on a date and then you're like, well, I have a suggestion, let's go here, and I know that that's out of my practice, you're definitely paying for that. I'm paying for that.
It was a guy that was like always flirting with me. It was her friend actually, and I couldn't figure out whether he like. I'm so clueless to that because see, I'm the type of person. I'm friendly to everybody. I love to talk. Sometimes I'm very booty, so I don't even know why I say I love to talk, but I do. Like if your vibe is good, I love people. I really do love people, but. So he was always like talking to me and I couldn't figure out. I'm like, I think he likes me. But then I'm like, I'm not his type. And then I'm like, how you know you're not his type? Like you ain't even seen him with no girls. So like how you know? So finally, and then one day, we went to this event and he just like made me feel so special at that event. And I was like, yeah, he gotta like me. So I had a couple drinks. I had like 3 Long Islands.
Long Island.
And I shot my shot. I was like, we should hang out sometime.
With me in the background.
I was like, we should hang out sometime. And he was like, yeah, we should do that. And then we started Facebooking and stuff like that. And he paid for the first date. He took me to a very nice date. So yeah, I've had that experience, but I was told by another guy that I went on a date with. And mind you, I didn't start dating, so don't think I'm like crazy. I didn't start dating until March. I did try to give myself time. Do y'all think that was enough time?
You said September,
Like 5 months?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started back in March, and then I had one guy who told me, I forget where we had went somewhere, and I went to pay. And he said, whenever I ask you out, you don't pay.
There you go.
And he said, now if you ask me out, then I'm going, if you ask me to go somewhere, then I'm going to expect you to be paying for it. So y'all agree with that?
That's why I'm really looking forward to the dude's perspective on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Because like we talk about our learning experience, I wonder what theirs are because I would imagine, and I don't want to be judgmental. I don't know if there was father figures in the room, but I would imagine what you're looking up to is not a positive example. And I am torn, like in this day and age, whether or not men should still be courting a female and paying for everything, or whether they should still be on this attitude. If you invite me out, I'm gonna pay. Or you pay if you invite me out. Like, where does this come from?
That's what got me in a relationship with my ex. Because when I tell you he courted the hell out of me, like he really it was dinner, it was movies, it was restaurants that I had never been to. He was teaching me about stuff. He was teaching me about his Cuban culture. It was just like he was picking me up. And I was that person that was like, I would never date outside of my race. I would never get serious with someone outside of my race. And God was like, oh, really? Well, let me throw this curveball at you. And I had somebody who like I told y'all, I didn't date when I was younger. I went from drug dealer to pimp to drug dealer. So I didn't date. I guys said they like me, they see me at the club, they see me walking down the street, and I'm in a relationship.
Right.
That was it. One other guy, like he really did, my best friend, he did court me. That was the guy we went on a $5 date. He did court me, but my ex was really the only one who really, really like put in the effort, and that's what got me. But
And is that how it's supposed to be?
yes, that is, and I think that's how it's supposed to be. I had a guy that tried to just, and I'm not, I hope I don't come off cocky, but I just had a guy when I was at Walmart, and he was trying to talk to me, and he said he familiar with my poetry and stuff, and he said he wanted to get to know me, and I told him I wasn't dating him. He said, well, I'm a type, I court, I'm old school. Because he had said something. He said, are you spoken for? And that threw me off. I was like, that's old school. And he was like, I am old school. He said, I pay for nails, I get hair did, I open doors. I was like, yes. But you know, I'm not even saying they don't open doors anymore because women walk through them and do not speak. Say speak or say thank you.
Yeah.
And I watched that.
I've seen that too.
I watched that where women, a door has been open for them and they walk straight through, and they don't. The person who opened for them, they act like the person wasn't even there. And I'm like, who trained you?
Right.
So, but yeah, this guy was like, I court, like, chivalry is not dead. He helped me put all my groceries in my car and everything. But, and the old Michelle would have said that. The old Michelle would have said, that's nice. Let me give you my phone number. But I told him, he said, you should just still take it. I said, I'm going to ignore you. And I hate that feeling of just seeing the text and ignoring it and keep ignoring it and keep ignoring it, because I really didn't want to talk to you, but you kind of just kept
Yes.
yes.
That's why you gotta give men credit, because they really don't give up.
Yeah.
When I was driving to Atlanta, there was this guy, we had this great conversation. I mean, the conversation was just like, it was like a long ride. And this conversation was just so good. And then afterwards, he asked me to take me out, and I said, oh, I'm in a relationship. And when he got out the car, I thought, damn, that gotta be hard. That has to be hard to put yourself out there constantly. And you don't know if you're going to get accepted or rejected.
Because I started talking about the transference of energy and stuff like that, and I was like, I don't think that, I said there's a lot of people that shouldn't even been in my presence to even feel my energy, let alone even have sex with. So you as a man, do you think that every single person that you've had sex with deserves to share your energy?
No, right.
And he's like, well, as long as I have a mutual attraction with them and we come to an agreement that we can sleep together, we can do that without having any feelings. I said, but that's a lie. I said, she may tell you that there's no feelings. I said, but it's different for a man versus a woman.
Yeah.
I said, as a woman, you're actually letting a man inside of your body. I said, yeah, you can deal with all that external stuff that you have going on, but for a woman, I said, he's like, well, it's just casual sex. I said, there's nothing casual about sex. You can casually date somebody. You don't casually have sex.
But for men, though, it is like you said, like
Listen,
It's not like that, and they don't respect that. It's not like that.
I was always taught that a man shouldn't have sex with a woman more than 3 times if he doesn't want her to catch feelings. Like if
But they don't respect.
Yeah, like if you just trying to smash and you don't want her getting caught up,
You just
with
smash
you,
once and
you
you
smash
finish.
once and maybe twice, but once you hit that 3rd time, you got her. And no matter what and I used to try to tell my brother that, like, no matter what she tells you, I don't want a relationship. There are some females that are built like me, but there are very few. There are very few. And men, it's different for them. They can separate having sex.
They're here to plant seeds. Men are built, they are created to plant the seed. And not saying that they're not capable of love and all that, because they are, but it's just different for them. You know,
I guess it's based on that upbringing.
And their upbringing probably as well too, but think about it, we're beautiful. Like, women are beautiful. We're fucking beautiful. Why do we in a man feel like, because, I mean, it is what it is.
And
like,
animals do it.
Exactly.
Naturally.
It's a natural instinct. And I look at it like in a different way now as an older woman, because of course when so we're young and I'm feeling some kind of way, you know, if you've been cheated on and things like that. I look at them now and it's like they can't help it. I'm not mad at you for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think about that type of stuff, like relationships and everything. Like, I'm a little bit, I guess, different than how a lot of women might think or believe when they're in relationships. Like, I know that my dude, if I had one of the dudes I've had, they're looking. They looking?
Yeah, of course.
How can you not believe? I'm looking.
That's what I was saying. I'm looking.
You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it all the way gully. I'm looking.
We judge each other more.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
So, I just, you know, if you kind of allow a man to be a man, but to a certain extent,
That's true.
we wouldn't have so many like trials and tribulations and feel so, you know, like, because we expect them to just, it's me and that's it.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Nah, because I feel like, no, there's always somebody that's going to find something that's
Right.
beautiful. Like the way, for me, when I look at women, there are things about them, the way they hold their hands, the way they walk, the way their lips are formed. And I understand how men can just like get pulled in
Yes.
by that. But I also, I remember this guy said all men cheat, and I said, I don't believe all men cheat. I'm sorry. I believe that there are men, like P. Diddy, for example. I feel like the reason he's never got married or been in a committed relationship is because he knows he can't help himself. Why am I going to get married to you when I know
that's you? Yeah.
I would cheat on you with everything that walks by? You want that
Right.
security.
Yeah.
They want to go to work, come home, know she there, because having more than one woman it ain't easy.
Right.
It's a headache. It's anxiety coming in.
One woman is a headache.
If you only knew.
Right.
I don't know if you remember the thing that comes with being Islam and such. Like, we can have up to 4. You can have up to 4 wives,
As long as you can provide for
but
them.
as long as you can provide for them. But if you knew,
You wouldn't.
you wouldn't. You wouldn't, because it's a lot to handle for women. Okay, so we gonna wrap this up because we could go on.
This would be all night.
And on about our dating experiences. I think that we come to the conclusion that is based on our upbringing. We probably do need to explore this topic more and learn more about dating. And y'all all brought up some really, really good topics like, why are you dating?
Right.
That's one of the things. Dating with a purpose. You know, you brought up the background, like how you were raised, your childhood and stuff like that. We all brought up some really good things. And I just want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank my sponsors, Closet Slayer, Be More Fabulous, Daystar Community Services. I'm going to have all those links where you can check these people out and the products that they provide. Yes, and I just want to thank you again for all your support with Queen Motivation. This is our first and will not be our last Sip and Discuss. The panel will change throughout the month. Sometimes you will see familiar faces. Sometimes it will be brand new faces. Sometimes it will be a one-on-one interview. Sometimes it will be all men.
Okay.
And just one woman sitting here getting the feedback. But what my intention is that we share, as a culture, we share, we open up, we motivate and inspire each other to do better, to be better. I feel like we just need to talk and share more. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of Queen Motivation's first Sip and Discuss. I love you and I appreciate you all. Thanks, Kim.
And you will see the dream is real.
Strength is all you need. Maybe a million ways to get it. Poetry chose me. So with every line I spit, every word she sings, we uplift, save a queen, save a dream. This episode is brought to you by Be More Fabulous Designs. Be More Fabulous Designs is a full-service wedding event planning firm that focuses on delivering the highest standards of quality for every client. Weddings, social parties, special celebrations, non-profit events, and more. Serving all of the DMV and tri-state area. Your vision is their passion. Fabulous events.